Hey guy, how are you all beautiful people are doing? Hope all of you are doing fine, and yes, this is the next season of creating Naruto comics in Naruto world. Akaban was graduated from the University of Arts and Design in the 21st century, then suddenly traversed into the Naruto's world. By bringing my knowledge of arts and my love of Naruto comic, I decided to recreate Naruto comic here. So let's start without any delay. The boring comics. I finally saw the latest place. Not far from Madara, Black Zetsu sat in the shadow of the coal, holding the newly updated comics in his hand. In the end, he closed the comic and fell into deep thought. Collect all the tailed beasts. Without Rinnegan, why does the Akatsuki collect tailed beast? Is it because he has overlooked something, or is there no logic at all for the comic, and the author just draws it blindly? Because this approach is really stupid. According to the current situation, every squad in this organization has the power to catch the tailed beasts. But such an elite team needs the help of tail beasts to enhance its choice. Moreover, collecting all the tailed beasts in 3 years means that they will offend the Shinobi world in these 3 years. Unless you have the confidence to crush everything, no matter what he thinks, it's a stupid move. Under these various factors, if Rinnegan is added, this organization will appear normal. Since Rinnegan's power is indeed enough to crush everything. However, Rinnegan is the most mysterious of the 3 great dojutsu, and there are very few people who know how it came from. Besides him, maybe even Madara doesn't know what kind of power and purpose Rinnegan has. But the question is, how did this kid who still has the smell of his mother's milk know about Rinnegan? Could it be that the collection of tailed beasts is only to deter the 5 great nations? An absurd idea emerged in Bulk Zetsu's mind. Tailed beast is the strongest weapon. Without a doubt, if the tailed beast is sealed on one's own body, it is equivalent to that the organization has more than a dozen peak ninjas, and at the same time it has mastered 9 Jinchuriki. Such an organization is indeed sufficient to deter Ninja World and prevent all the countries from moving. Equivalent to more than a dozen people plus only 9-tailed beast, it has the effect of Senju Hashirama that year, allowing Ninja World to enter a strange peace for a short time. There is no problem logically, and it seems that it can really try to fool them. Black Zetsu secretly said in his heart. The Ninja World is now in a delicate balance, and there will be no war in the near future. This is a great opportunity to build up strength. In addition, there is a country and race that is very suitable for starting at the moment: Land of Whirlpools, the Uzumaki clan. A while ago, there was a war of annihilation in the land of Uzumaki, and the real country of the Vortex almost existed in name. The Uzumaki family suffered a huge blow, and some fled to the country of fire. It is difficult for this group of people to move, but there are certainly people who have not had time to withdraw. Those people are most easily brainwashed by peace. But on Madara's side, can you put it aside for now? He was a little worried. Madara possesses extremely high intelligence and is likely to make unnecessary attempts, so he has been following his side since Madara began to fuse Hashirama cells. If Madara has any dangerous thoughts, he will take the initiative to appear. Although he hasn't had a chance to play until now, it is still hard to rest assured that he has to leave for a while without supervision. He has waited for 1,000 years and does not want to wait for another one. For a short time, it should be fine. At Konoha's side, Akaban stared at the panel. He was sure that there was an abnormal surge in points this morning. Of course. This time the number is very small, just a little more than 1 or 2,000 than usual, but the abnormal increase shows that someone is trying to contribute points. Is it Black Zetsu or Madara? Or, perhaps both? The two big shots chasing after the change are really stressful. But here comes the question, did they pay for their comics? One is a fugitive, and the other simply doesn't even have a fixed body. Such a combination does not seem to be able to shell out money. It is estimated that it is a means of various frauds. What are you sighing? The first comic is over, so it's time to take a break, right? Tsunade glanced at him. Before, she was busy with research and rarely came out, but since she killed the mouse yesterday, she understood the Sage Mode and some conditions of creation and creation rebirth. That's why she is a little confused right now that she didn't have the time to continue her research. I still have to update. So many readers are waiting to read. If it is not updated, the shop will be torn down 2 or 3 days later. Some time ago I went to arrange a special training session and stopped updating for half a month. So I can't do that. Akaban said weakly. Shopping with girls is really not a good job, especially because Tsunade wants to go to the casino from time to time, which makes him quite tired. Speaking of which, Grandma also gave a tailed beast transformation too, right? Tsunade stopped suddenly. Uzumaki Maito is also a 9-tails Jinchuriki. If the tailed beast transformation ability really exists. Tailed beast transformation is actually the chakra leak of tailed beast. For Grandma Maito, she probably wouldn't use such a low-level transformation. Akaban muttered for a moment and said. For Uzumaki Maito, she has more efficient and powerful methods, and she doesn't have to study tail beastization at all. But for ordinary ninjas, tail beastization is indeed an extremely powerful force. If we seal the chakra of tailed beast to the ordinary person, can we create another Jinchuriki? Tsunade had a whim. Since the chakra is the key, then sealing the tail beast chakra, in the same way, should have the same effect, right? I'm such a genius. When she thought of this, she couldn't help being slightly excited. You think too much. Akaban was a little speechless. Isn't this the same idea as the 12 Guardian Ninja? Can anyone use the chakra of the tailed beast? The reason why Naruto can use the one-tailed state without side effects is that his own body can withstand this power. Secondly, Kuina's life is closely related to Naruto. While releasing chakra, he also carried out partial control to avoid excessive damage to his body. Can't it work? Tsunade asked. Unless you have the control ability to reach the level of Grandma Maito, or you are proficient in various sealing jutsu, maybe you can control the leakage of chakra by yourself. Akaban shrugged and said, if you can convince Grandma Maito and the village, you can try it on the children of the Uzumaki clan. You know, if you encourage me to do something dangerous, you will be killed. Tsunade trembled all over. The 10 children of the Uzumaki clan are all grandmothers' hearts. Whoever dares to stretch their paw to touch them will have their paw chopped off for sure by none other than Uzumaki Maito herself. You mentioned it yourself. Akaban walked a few steps, then stopped suddenly and glanced somewhere. An Anbu. Thoughtful, he turned his head and said, Tsunade, I'm going to Anbu first. You can play by yourself. Playing. I'm very busy, and I will go back to the hospital for work. Tsunade looked towards the hidden place of Anbu, as she also sensed the arrival of the Anbu ninja. After all, the other party did not hide his presence. As long as it was a ninja, she could easily detect it. When she said this, she also hoped that Akaban would not have too many worries and thoughts. Akaban nodded. Is the teacher looking for me? Let's go. Yes. The Anbu ninja bowed slightly to show respect to Tsunade, and then turned around to go to the position of Anbu base. Akaban grabbed his shoulders while mobilizing chakra inside. There is no need to waste time. In the next second, Akaban appeared at the secret door at the same time as him. The Anbu ninja was a little shocked, but after taking a deep breath, the throbbing in his heart gradually calmed down. The Flying Thunder God Jutsu. What a luxury! He secretly complained. Then I will go in. Yes, please. The Anbu ninja didn't lead the way. He calculated that Akaban might have a better understanding of this side than him. There is no need to lead the way at all, as long as the words are brought there. Akaban walked in, circled around, and easily found Danza's office door. Walked in and there was nothing. Why did he call me over? He was a little puzzled. Danza appeared from behind him. As the other party approached, Akaban felt a slight chakra movement. Wind. Keiju Haiko dug up new information. Danza said and threw a report. Akaban took it over. The brushwork was very new, and it seemed to have just been completed. It mentions some recent trends in Hidden Mist Village, among which includes the casting of ninja swords. In addition to the fangs, Hidden Mist Village also owns Same Hada and Kubakiri Bocho, which involve the elite plan of Third Mitsukage. Of course, the assassin from the Hidden Mist Village obviously only knows part of it. Teacher, what do you mean? Do you want me to support Murasaki? Akaban asked. Murasaki didn't set off. I cancelled the plan. Someone in the Land of Water claimed to have discovered the devil fruit. The news has spread quickly throughout the ninja world. After all, you painted it, and you have more say. Danza said, and his tone was calm. He knows that this incident is likely to be false, but what the people behind the scene want to do is worth pondering. The news was released and it almost spread to the world of ninja. What was its purpose? Not only that. Due to this incident, the defense and secret surveillance of the Land of Water will inevitably be stricter. So it is just right to cancel the plan. Akaban thought for a few seconds, then nodded and said, I will investigate. The devil fruit must be imaginary, but the thing itself is a bit like propaganda. He was not sure, but he always felt that Kakuzu might have played a big part in it. In addition, there will be a small team from the Uchiha clan. I gave them your Flying Thunder God Kunai. When the time comes, you remember to help. Danza said lightly. What? Akaban froze for a moment, then nodded without speaking. He was a little puzzled. Why did Uchiha have to go over there? Although they are integrated into Konoha's ninja system, they are more involved in patrolling and maintaining domestic security. But suddenly they are responsible for this kind of work. Could it be that it has something to do with his previous plot? To kill your companions to awaken Mangekyo. It seems that many of Uchiha's lunatics have a believing attitude, but when they can hardly raise their butcher knife to their companions, it means that they no longer regard each other as their best friend. Uchiha's best way to solve this problem is acting. Akaban thought thoughtfully. This trip to the Land of Water is likely to assist in the performance and the investigation of what the devil fruit is just incidental. All right, I'll take a trip. It just so happens that he is very curious about Uchiha Ensho's Mangekyo ability. However, for this level of task, he needed to assign a shadow clone to the village to be responsible for painting. To ensure battery life, he also needs to seal more chakras in it. And for Akaban, It is quite easy as he had already completely mastered this degree of sealing jutsu. When will you leave? Right now. Uncle Ensho, are we going to the border of fire country? Akaban has a headache. Because there is no mark on the land of water, their entire group can only walk to the land of fire border, and then take a ship to land of water. But this is just a show, why does his supporting role have to go so far? Can your flying thunder god jutsu transfer us there directly? Uchiha Ensho tilted his head. Using the flying thunder god jutsu needs an imprint. Although Akaban has been to the land of Uzumaki, it was all a long time ago. Not right now, but don't you have my kunai on you? Akaban smiled. As long as Uchiha Ensho reaches the border, he can fly directly over. Although it will consume a lot of chakras, there are a lot of chakras stored in his yin seal, so there is no need to worry about not having enough chakras. No way. Uchiha Ensho was silent for a moment and decisively refused this rude request. Let them run, but this guy will teleport directly at the end. It's beautiful to think about, especially when he sees his 3 tribes panting, and he is not tired at all. Obviously, he is much better than his 3 companions in terms of physical skills. Uchiha Ensho saw through everything. He wanted to start to talk directly, but considering this guy's cautious personality, he finally forcibly held back what's on his mind. Akaban often lags behind in the distance, but after a while, he will use Flying Thunder God Jutsu to come to them. Uchiha Ensho was uncomfortable at first, but for a better life. I will endure. Speaking of which, is it land of Uzumaki over there? Teleporting to the side of Uchiha Ensho again, Akaban activated his perception ability and felt a strange feeling. Akaban frowned slightly. This feeling? Yeah, the land of Uzumaki is now a land of ruins and has become the hidden mist ninja site. Uchiha Ensho sighed heavily. The so-called if the rabbit dies, the fox grieves. Today it is the Uzumaki family, maybe tomorrow it will become the Uchiha family's turn. Without giving him much sad time, Akaban directly summoned his little dream to purr. And with the little dream to purr secret jutsu blessing, his perception is clearer. That's right, Tilda. This feeling is highly likely to be Black Zetsu. Is your mission urgent? If it is not urgent, can you let me go to land of Uzumaki to have a look first? Ah, that's fine. Thanks. As soon as the voice fell, Akaban disappeared from his position. At the same time, he opened the system panel and exchanged the nearly 10,000 points accumulated during this time into 10 mental power attributes. With the 10 points increase in his mental power, the feeling becomes a little clearer, and he can even determine where this strange feeling comes from. There was no one around, so Akaban directly opened his main Gekyo Sharingan, created an eye from the illusion, and then materialized it to the distance. On the tree far away from Black Zetsu, a fruit with eyes grew. In the next second, Akaban sees him. He is dressed as a hidden mist ninja, but he is wearing a cloak on his head. It seems that he does not want to be exposed. Because his eyes are between the real and the illusion, even Black Zetsu cannot detect it immediately. More than that, Black Zetsu seemed to be leading the 2 children at this moment. At the same time, Akaban immediately cancelled his eyes when he saw him. Hey, they are coming here. Akaban described his main Gekyo Sharingan and saw Uchiha Ensho follow from behind in the next second. What happened? It's nothing, but I sensed a remnant from the Uzumaki clan, but there is a very dangerous mist shinobi over there. Akaban said solemnly. Of course, he himself didn't know what level the mist ninja was. he just looked through the metamorphosed third eye for less than a second. Let's go and see. Uchiha Ensho thought about it for less than a second and decided to take a look over there. When he came out this time, everything was the second task, and his main mission was to perform a play for his 3 clansmen who were more talented and thinking incorrectly. So it doesn't matter who the opponent is. Let's go. Akaban didn't know what Black Zetsu was doing here, but he was very happy to see him having troubles, especially this guy sneaking in to fool the children from the Uzumaki family, which would make him unconsciously think of Uchiha Madara's Rinnegan eyes. Is Madara awakening his Rinnegan early? He doesn't quite understand. The 4 of them were very fast, and it didn't take long to get close to the location of Bulk Zetsu and the 2 children from the Uzumaki family. Black Zetsu, sensing them, looked this way. This presence. This is the abnormal kid from the Kurama clan. My lord, has something happened? It's nothing. Black Zetsu grabbed one of them. These 2 are young people with good aptitudes that he has selected, but the child from the left still has the higher aptitude. In case they really catch up, if there is no other way, he can only bring the child from his left and run away. So he can't bear to lose it. Black Zetsu, who sensed them approaching them, was thinking about whether to fight head-on or escape. Even if he seized a puppet to become his body, there is still a high probability that he is not an opponent. Rebel ninja from Hidden Mist, let go of the children from the Uzumaki clan. Uchiha Ensho said after they arrived. Both children are red-haired, they are descendants from the Uzumaki family. Behind Uchiha Ensho, the other 3 Uchiha arrived one after another, but they did not see Akaban, as he was hiding not far away. An Uchiha. Black Zetsu glanced at them, and then his hands made a hand seal, and a cloud of fog instantly spread. But the next second, he was drawn into the illusion. But Black Zetsu was very calm. He glanced around, and there was nothing here, and he couldn't find anyone or anything. Judging from the composition of the illusion, this jutsu is an illusion of the Kurama clan, and the caster never thought of harming him with an illusion, just delaying a second or 2. He quickly emptied his consciousness and plunged himself into a coma state. This was not difficult for Black Zetsu, who was a consciousness. In less than a second, Bulk Zetsu broke free from the illusion. Then run. There is no need to hesitate, 1 vs 5, he is not a fool. Returning to his original form, he once again recovered the characteristics that were difficult to perceive and sense. Incidentally, he wrapped the child in his left and also shielded it. Akaban wanted to chase after him, but Black Zetsu's presence was difficult to distinguish. In addition, he ran extremely fast and had a child in his hand. Before he could catch up, Black Zetsu had already disappeared from his perception range. He slipped away. He was a little unwilling, but he could only sigh softly and accept this fact. Black Zetsu is indeed too difficult. As for the Mist Ninja Rebel that Bulk Zetsu possesses, he was directly defeated by Uchiha Ensho, and he didn't even have a chance to use his main Gekyo. After all, this Mist Ninja was not strong, plus with 4 of them, it was easily crushed. The Rebel Fell Mist was very depressed. When he woke up from sleep, he came here inexplicably and was beaten by 4 ninjas from the Uchiha. But Black Zetsu is the one who was very depressed after he got away. Although he got away after abducting a child, he still lost his body and it is temporarily inconvenient for him to show up next to the child. So he has to find another one. In addition, he seemed to have brought the wrong child and brought a little food. So before leaving, Black Zetsu left a message to tell the child that he should live first. After he got one, he didn't plan to continue working for the time being. Instead, he planned to return to Madara to look around first. But when he returns to Madara's hiding place, where is Madara? He is gone. Black Zetsu went to the woodsman's house where Madara often bought the comics at the foot of the mountain. There is an inexplicable pile of money at the door of the woodcutter's house. Without knowing what to do, Black Zetsu was holding the money while looking around. If Madara doesn't plan to come back here anymore, damn. It's that hateful kid's fault. If there is a chance, I must kill him, otherwise there will be endless troubles. Black Zetsu cursed in anger. Regardless of Akaban's misplay or deliberate collision, he has already threatened his plan. But if he kills Kurama Akaban, there won't be comics anymore, but compared to saving his mother, he wouldn't hesitate to kill him just to revive his mother. He began to search for Madara's trail. It took more than half a day to find the traces of Madara from the direction leading to the Land of Water. Black Zetsu was confused as to why the Land of Water became Madara's destination. Although Land of Water is isolated from the world and won't be found by the people of Konoha, it is also not attractive. Madara, who was still fusing Hashirama's cell, going to the Land of Water. What is happening? Could this guy be ignorant? Black Zetsu was very tired and felt that he had become a father looking for his child who was hiding for a long time and suddenly ran away. Madara is the most important part of his plan. So he has no choice but to follow Madara's route to follow the other side's whereabouts. Akaban knew nothing about the situation here. They are taking a ship to the Nation of Water as planned. The two sides are separated by a relatively long distance. There were not many ships going back and forth. But recently, due to Grand Line, many rogue ninjas and wandering samurai head to Land of Water. As a result, there are many more ships on the seashore. Along the way, Akaban heard a lot about the devil fruit, because many of the wandering ninjas who went to the water country on the same ship as them, their goal was this devil fruit. A forged devil fruit, but so many people are so obsessed with it, and they rushed to Land of Water from all over the world. It's ridiculous. This is still an imitation, but if it is genuine, wouldn't everyone be crazy? In fact, there are a lot of devil fruits in Akaban's list that can be exchanged, first the rubber devil fruits of Luffy, and then the Russell fruits that appeared in the latest plot. However, he doesn't know if he can only take one devil fruit like the people from One Piece world, so Akaban didn't try eating one. In case he can only eat one, taking it rashly is equivalent to confirming the ability. He hasn't thought about what ability is better for the time being, so he has not considered it. Looking at his shop panel, the cheapest one above is the Whisper fruit that appeared in the 1000-Year Dragon special episode. It only costs about 500 points. With Akaban's points, as long as he wants to exchange them, he can redeem them immediately. 500 points are not much for him anyway. Akaban continued searching and found that there is another devil fruit that is relatively cheap, and that is the bull devil fruit. This fruit can transform the eater into an adult bison, possessing the speed and impact of a bison. But in the world of Naruto, the power of bison. Even so, it is still stronger than Whisper Devil Fruit, as it needs 1,000 points. The two devil fruits add up to only 1,500 points. Akaban thought for a while, and a plan was formed in his mind. He exchanged the Whisper fruit and planned to sell it. Of course, this is not over. After it was sold, he would catch the buyer secretly, and let him go to the sea to bathe, and see if the devil fruit's weakness was still the sea water. What a perfect plan! It's the land of water, we are in land of water. Great. Devil fruit, I'm one step closer to it. A group of people shouted, for fear that others would not know their goals, but they probably didn't have to hide it. Most people came here for the devil fruit. Akaban was on the sidelines, planning how to get his devil fruit in. The whisper fruit, although it is useless, can indeed give the user a certain ability, enough to make some ripples. As long as people believe that there are devil fruits in the world, then the follow-up. On the other hand, this is also a small attempt. Will One Piece's devil fruit have the same defects in the Naruto world? Can I only eat one? Will the devil fruit be reborn in the vicinity after the user's death? For these questions, reality testing is the best solution. But too many people come to observe the devil fruit. Akaban, what are you thinking? We should go now. Uchiha Ensho patted him on the shoulder. There is a mixture of fish and dragons here, although they have done a certain amount of disguise, but just in case, they still cannot stay for a long time in such crowded places, so as not to reveal their identity in advance. No, I just thought, among so many people, will there be Chunin from other countries mixing in like us? Akaban said. Yeah, but we don't have time to manage that much. This is the country of water. Let them handle those troubles. Of course, Uchiha Ensho knew this too. Among other things, he found a suspected Chunin from Hidden Stone Village just aboard the ship, but this is someone else's site, so he can't control what Stone Ninja is doing here. Anyway, Hidden Mist Village is not a Konoha alliance, so it doesn't matter if it is destroyed. Akaban is not worried about Land of Water. But he is worried that if the Whisper Devil Fruit falls into the hands of Chunin, it might be more troublesome when it comes time for tracking. Since he is most afraid of trouble. He doesn't know if he can engrave the Flying Thunder God Jutsu imprint on the Devil Fruit. Forget it. Engraving the mark is likely to be recognized, and there is no way to explain it then. Akaban gave up this idea. The 5 people left the crowd and went to a remote place to discuss where to go next. It was a small wharf town in the water country that released the discovery of the devil fruit and planned to sell it. For its authenticity, no need to ask, and their main purpose to come here is to see who is causing the problem. Since they know that this matter is not simple. The power of the devil fruit is really quite tempting, especially when One Piece is unprecedentedly hot in other countries. But if they do this thing for money, I am afraid it won't work. If they cheat so many ninjas, and the mastermind doing this thing doesn't have any strength, they wouldn't do such a thing since it's tantamount to asking for their lives to be taken. The 5 discussed for a while, and finally decided to move separately. Akaban will go alone, and the Uchiha group of 4 acted together, investigating the devil fruit at the same time. Of course. Acting separately is the plan proposed by Akaban. If he doesn't do this, he will have no time to swap his devil fruit among the fake devil fruit. The next step is to find someone. These people are so courageous, they dare to make trouble like this. Akaban found the target town. Walking through the town gate, he walked around, and soon caught a wandering ninja in the alley, hypnotized him, and tortured him for information. This is called Lake Town. 2 or 3 months ago, it was just a poor fishing town. But in just 2 or 3 months, the number of people here is increasing day by day. Now that all parties invest in transformation, this side has become a relatively prosperous seaside town. In addition, the place where the devil fruit information is released seems to be in a casino. The casino is also a place where ninjas are mixed, and the law and order of the water country is not good. For example, the legal management of the border town is even looser. Casino. I am afraid that every once in a while, there will be life cases. Akaban thought. Traced to the location of the casino, and then followed the same method, using his own illusion to hypnotize, to extract part of the memory of the staff in the casino. But he didn't expect to discover words like great ceremony in this guy's memory. A ceremony, a populous place, news of the devil fruit. Damn. It's the Jashin cult. If it is the Jashinists, it is really possible to create a devil fruit that carries the ability. After all, from the research of Orochimaru, the power of the Jashinists comes from a different kind of chakra, and this kind of chakra needs killing to maintain. If they work out a way to incorporate different chakras into the fruit, then use this auction to spread it out. The brilliance of Jashinists will really illuminate the world of ninja. What a wicked plan! Akaban had to sigh. As expected, none of the people in the ninja world was stupid. Jashin cult lasted this long with reason. He wandered around in the casino and found a lot of doubtful ninjas. These ninjas more or less have a Jashinist style. The casino was almost transformed into a gathering place for Jashinists. Although they are not too strong in a comprehensive judgment, Akaban did not intend to destroy it immediately. This is the country of water. So after turning a circle, Akaban quietly used his perception ability to check the situation here. In the basement, that's how it is, make a mark outside before going in. The bottom of the casino was remodeled on a large scale, and there was no change at first, but it became a research institute completely behind, where you can see many devil fruits with various patterns. They are soaked in a container filled with special chakras. Does this thing really work? Akaban can't help but think of the ninja who believes in Jashin in Hidden Hot Water Village. Even if he eats the fruit, he can't do anything if he doesn't believe in Jashin. Forget it, don't think about it. People may come here at any time, that's why he wants to substitute the whisper fruit quickly and then mix it into these forged devil fruits. These Jashinists researchers are coming soon. Hurry up and pack this batch. The first sales meeting will be held in the evening. The quantity must be sufficient. Yes. Here comes the Jashinists. Akaban didn't think much. He directly redeems the devil fruit and mixed it into a pile of soaked devil fruits, and took a copycat by the way. After that, he used the flying thunder god jutsu. My lord, I just seemed to see someone. Check the quantity. They hurried over and began to check the quantity. After some inspections, several members of the Jashin cult said, the quantity is correct. Then pack it. Outside the casino. Akaban fell into deep thought, and it was really not his strong point to study this kind of thing. It was best to leave it to Orochimaru for research. But if he wants to go back to Konoha now, he may need a lot of chakras. According to the information heard in the basement, the first sale will take place in the evening, so time is quite short, and if he goes back and accumulates chakras, he may not be in time. Forget it, I will send it later. He sealed it in the scroll, and then he had to find Uchiha Ensho, meet with them to exchange information with each other, and then discuss their next step. After some discussions, Akaban and Uchiha Ensho reached an agreement and decided to sneak into the sales meeting at night to observe the situation of the devil fruit. As for the stolen devil fruit, no one dared to eat it, so it was still on the sealed scroll and took it back to Orochimaru for research as originally planned. Seaside Pier. An old man walked slowly down from the ship, looked up at the town, then coughed a few times and stopped for a few seconds before moving on. This is the river town, where the devil fruit appears. Madara closes his eyes to perceive his surroundings. The people around are not strong, but there are still a few Chunin from other countries, so it is not convenient for him to continue to stay. He sped up unconsciously. Not long after entering the town, a cart passed by him, and he felt a strange presence, and he couldn't help frowning slightly. What's on the cart? Behind him, Black Zetsu lurked all the way, and also found the strangeness of the goods, which was the feeling of chakra. This is the devil fruit. Ha, it really is a ridiculous farce. I thought Madara was a wise man, but I didn't expect him to be foolish enough to be deceived by such an obvious trap. Black Zetsu sneered, and his assessment of Madara fell a bit. Along the way, he heard some rumors and origins related to devil fruit, and knew that it first came from Akaban's comic One Piece. What he finds ridiculous is that it is just a product of comic fantasies. And there are so many stupid people in the world who believe it is true. Even Uchiha Madara, whom he values, cannot be immune. So stupid, so ridiculous. Forget it, he was originally just a tool. As long as he can complete the Rinnegan, these little things are left with him. Black Zetsu sighed lightly, not following Madara immediately. From his perception, he discovered some conditions Kurama Akaban, casinos, and Jashin. Since being discovered by Akaban one after another, Black Zetsu is no longer confident in his concealment ability, so he deliberately avoided Akaban's range of activities and went to the casino first. After escaping into the ground, he can easily reach the basement of the casino. Soon, he understood the nature of the devil fruit. Sure enough, they are all fakes. I'm really curious about Uchiha Madara's expression when he sees the devil fruit is such a thing, he. Black Zetsu sneered for a while and then left here. Now, just wait for the evening. A group of people who arrived at River Town sat in a tavern, hotel, or street, waiting for the night to come. In a town where the laws of the water country cannot take care of it, this kind of gathering does not need to be hidden. At night, the whole town is lit up. Everyone came to the dock. This is the place where the convention is held, and the people of Jashin have already been waiting here, but the devil fruit has not been pulled over yet. Akaban was also among the crowd. But he was not at ease, because he accidentally found a very scary character. Just the part of his aura that he felt made him frightened. Damn! Although he is already old, he is still very strong. Of course, it is the legendary character Uchiha Madara himself. A mere fake fair attracted Uchiha Madara. Akaban didn't dare to show any expressions, because, for a strong person like Madara, any violent emotional fluctuations could cause subtle changes in the chakra and mental power on his body, and he would then be aware that something was wrong. So he can only calm his beating heart. Letter, what's the matter? Uchiha Ensho felt that this kid was a little strange, as if he was worried about something. When he asked, Madara looked over at the same time. The letter is Akaban's alias. Madara glanced at Akaban and noticed that his emotions fluctuated greatly. These guys are powerful. Akaban whispered. Madara looked at the group of people above. Of course, these people are not ordinary people. They have very weird chakras in them, and each of them is at the level of Chunin. Of course. In his eyes, Chunin was nothing great, not to mention that most of these ninja strengths were just artificial. It was not worth paying attention to that special chakra to have that kind of power. It is not worth paying attention to that special chakra to have that kind of power. But for ordinary ninja, it is indeed a powerful influence. Madara didn't pay attention to Akaban anymore, and his eyes swept over the pile of devil fruits. Even if he didn't activate his Sharingan, he could see through the true colors of these devil fruits at a glance based on his understanding of chakra and the effect of the Mangekyo Sharingan. It turns out that the so-called devil fruit is just a bunch of special chakra fruits. How stupid, running so far in vain. Madara was very dissatisfied, but had no intention of creating a major disturbance, and turned around to leave. But at this moment, he saw a different fruit. This fruit does not have the other kind of presence, and the pattern on its body is also more primitive and complicated. At first glance, it seems to be the same as the surrounding fruits, but it is completely different inside. Is that real? Although it is impossible to be completely certain, the fruit is indeed completely different. Madara stopped and stared at the stage. He was thinking about countermeasures. Direct hands-on is the easiest and quickest solution, but this may bring him back to the sight of everyone. It was very foolish to do so before the two forces were completely merged into one. Wait a minute. He looked underneath, waiting for the time to come. Akaban did not dare to observe the old man too blatantly, but he pretended to be inadvertent several times, making him quite sure that the old man was probably Madara. Although his appearance has changed a lot, his hairstyle has not changed. It's really Madara. Will Madara eat the whisper fruit? He was lost in thought. If Madara wants to eat this fruit, it's going to be fun. If eating devil fruit made the user really afraid of seawater, then he can seal a pile of seawater with him, so when he encounters Madara. Although Madara in the sea can still summon Susanoo, it doesn't seem to make much sense if he dies in the sea. But Madara having multiple weaknesses is still very interesting to see. Unfortunately, each devil fruit can only be exchanged once. After the whisper devil fruit was exchanged, it disappeared directly from the exchange list. Therefore, if Madara gets the whisper fruit, and if he wants to test the various characteristics of the devil fruit in the Naruto world, he must exchange it for another devil fruit. And the problem is, he doesn't have that many points. As for the idea of conducting Madara for testing, he didn't dare to have a thought of it at all. Although Madara is old, he is still like a sleeping lion which is quite fierce. Even if he has a Mangekyo Sharingan and the Flying Thunder God Jutsu at the same time, he still feels very unsafe. So he can't afford to provoke him. There are more and more people, and the time has come. The Jashinists came to this small pile of devil fruits and one of them shouted. There may be many people who may suspect that devil fruits are fake, but I want to tell everyone that these are real devil fruits, and they have incredible power. What evidence do you have? Devil fruit, I think it's just some forged fruit, want to cheat the money in our hands. The lurking ninjas from various countries did not speak, but the wandering ninjas and the wandering samurai spoke first, and many of them even took a few steps forward, directly posing as if they wanted to grab the fruit. I advise you not to make bad ideas, because I'm a devil who ate the devil fruits. A man from the Jashin cult glanced at them, followed by a series of strange lines appearing on his body. His body size instantly increased to twice the original size, overlooking everyone. The big fruit. It's because the Jashinists figured out the name, and just listened to the name and it felt like a low burst. Big fruit. It's so big, there really are devil fruits in the world. It must be just a certain kind of ninjutsu. I heard that Konoha's Akimichi clan has the ability to double their body size. You are not good enough at this level. Although it is shocking to say that the size has suddenly doubled, not everyone believes that this is the power of the devil fruit, and more than that, among those who believe in the devil fruit, I am afraid that there will be a group of people who trust it. Akaban and his party were all watching the show below and did not intend to get involved in this matter. In the next second, the person who claimed that the big fruit was some kind of ninjutsu was hit and flew directly. Its strength is real. Maybe you don't believe it, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, there are not many devil fruits. Not everyone has the opportunity, and we don't force everyone to believe it. The host of the conference was smiling and was not emotionally disturbed by the voices of these opponents. He was very confident and lined up a total of 6 fruits. As the comics say, these devil fruits are unique. Everyone can acquire completely different abilities. Whether it is voluntary or not, the price is also determined by you. He smiled and asked the Jashinists on his side to put a sign in front of each fruit. The sign shows the price of 100 ryo. Akaban looked around. There are too many people here. The ninjas from the big villages naturally look down on them, but for some small villages and rogue ninjas, it is a great temptation. As ninjas, they are not short of money. There are many wealthy businessmen who will allow them to rob the rich and help the poor. But they are very short of ninjutsu and strength. Many secret techniques and ninjutsu are monopolized by big countries, and all they can get are some superficial techniques, and many of them are even suspicious things that have not been researched. That's why any means to increase their strength is precious to them. Soon, the price of the 6 fruits was raised to 4 figures. Akaban is very aware of these methods, and there must be help to raise the price. In addition, to Jashinists, making money is only second, and their main objective was to spread the faith of the Jashin cult. Unlike Akaban and the others, the wandering ninjas are planning to obtain them, and for this they offer very high prices, while some have given up their purchases, intending to grab them from others. Finally, someone who couldn't wait eventually snapped and ate the devil fruit he acquired excitedly. Then he yelled, his body swelled twice, and there he shouted excitedly, "So strong, so strong." The rest of the people also began to eat it wildly. Madara originally planned to continue to wait and see, but seeing how they bought it and ate it directly, if he waited to see if the one he was eyeing was a genuine one, it would be gone already. So, he did not hesitate anymore. Genjutsu. One of the Jashinists members on the stage looked dazed, and then quickly grabbed the fruit and ran out. At the same time, the earth rumbled. Earth release, earth flow river. The extremely powerful and terrifying soil ninjutsu instantly disrupted the entire venue. The Jashinists' people were furious, but in the face of the rushing mud, they had no ability to pursue it. What a powerful ninjutsu! This strength is no less than that of the 3rd Hokage Sama. Uchiha Ensho's face changed suddenly. Withdraw. After Akaban finished speaking, he grabbed the 2 Uchiha clansmen and used Flying Thunder God Jutsu. The coordinates of Flying Thunder God Jutsu are outside the pier, from there they can see what's happening in the pier. Akaban stood still and began to look for Madara's whereabouts among the crowd, but after a glance, there was no trace of Madara at all, but that kind of degree of soil escape just now must be Madara's handwriting. After leaving the crowd, Madara directly found the Jashinists members controlled by his illusion, and after obtaining the Whisper Devil fruit from him, he killed the Jashinists members. This is the devil fruit. Madara looked at the weird fruit. It is said that only one devil fruit can be eaten in life. Although the devil fruit illustrated book has been mentioned in the comics, the specific content of the Devil Fruit illustrated book has not appeared. Besides, Madara never finished reading One Piece. He only sees half of the plot, and he learned about it from the memory of the woodcutter, so he left his original base to join the fun in the country of the water, and didn't know much about the subsequent plot. For Madara, these powers are just a foil. No fruit is as powerful as Rinnegan's power. What really makes him curious is whether the Devil Fruit really exists. Therefore, after hesitating for a second or two, he took a bite decisively. It's disgusting and unpalatable, and he can't help but retching. Fool, I didn't expect him to be so stupid to eat this kind of food. Black Zetsu behind was anxious. He knew that Madara had not completely merged with Hashirama cells. Eating these things rashly would definitely have an impact on his body. He didn't know what to do, and he didn't seem to be able to show up. However, he didn't know that Madara reaching was not from a physical problem, but that the Devil Fruit was just too unpalatable. After taking a bite, Madara keenly noticed a certain change in his body. He can't say what it is, but he can be sure that he has obtained the ability corresponding to the Devil Fruit. Then, with a shake of his hand, the remaining Devil Fruit was thrown into the sea. Sure enough, it is fake. Seeing this scene, Black Zetsu became more and more sure in his heart that there is no such thing as Devil Fruit in the world. Afterwards, Madara walked out of the town leisurely, not looking like he had a physical problem, so Black Zetsu was relieved, and escaped into the soil to follow along. The two went all the way to a small village deep in the mountains. Madara stopped and sat there for a while. Black Zetsu hid behind a tree far away from him, and occasionally some flying birds flew over his head. However, he didn't care about hiding in the shadows. Because of the long stay, he even took out the comics and read them in the shade. At this time, Madara got up again. After walking another distance, Madara had reached a secluded place. He stopped and turned to look at Black Zetsu's hiding place. "Come out, I have found you." "What?" Black Zetsu was dumbfounded. How could Madara find himself? "You can hide in the shadows. To be honest, it took me some tricks to know that you were following me. Come out, or I will use tough methods to make you appear." After Madara said that, he put his hands together, and his eyes directly turned into an eternal Mangekyo Sharingan pattern. He was very annoyed. The dignified Uchiha Madara, who was being followed, is still ignorant. It takes him a Devil Fruit to find the other party. The worst part is, the other party may follow him for a period of time, and he doesn't notice anything, which makes him very angry. Seeing him turning on his own abilities, Black Zetsu absolutely knew that Madara had really seen through his hiding methods, and he couldn't help but doubt life. Why has he been so unlucky lately? Don't get excited, I'm from the same Uchiha clan as you, so I'm still your ancestor. Madara is the most likely person to awaken the Rinnegan in 1,000 years, so he didn't want to be an enemy of Madara. To be honest, Black Zetsu was very unwilling, let alone how Madara discovered him. But thinking about these is useless now. The key is to stabilize Madara's emotions. "Oh!" Madara sneered, obviously not believing what he said. Black Zetsu is not surprised by his reaction. Madara's vigilance is very high. For more than 10 years, he has been changing places to avoid being discovered by others. Although he was only found this time, it was enough to make Madara wary. He racked his brains, but there was no pause in his mouth. After standing up, he continued, "Have you seen the stone tablet? I don't care if we are from the same clan. What I am asking you is what your purpose is for following me." Madara said, and the imprint of the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan spun wildly. Black Zetsu secretly cried out. This guy's character, as expected, except for himself, will not believe anything. In fact, his first plan was to wait for Madara to awaken his Rinnegan and master Yin and Yang release and then find a chance to convince Madara that he is Madara's Yin and Yang release creation. However, after Madara found out that he was following him, the plan was completely ruined. It doesn't matter if you don't believe me, but do you want to know about the Rinnegan? Rinnegan. Madara was a little moved. He knows almost nothing about Rinnegan. The way to upgrade his Mangekyo to become a Rinnegan was just seen on the stone tablet. If the guy in front of him is really Indra, he may know some inside information. Of course, even if Black Zetsu said that, he wouldn't believe it at all. Rinnegan is unique to Sage of Six Paths. Back then, Sage of Six Paths had two sons. One was me and the other was my younger brother Asura. One of us inherited Sage Eyes and the other inherited Sage Body. Black Zetsu babbled. Madara didn't feel bored, let alone whether Black Zetsu was Indra or not, but the so-called Sage Body may refer to the abnormal body of Senju Hashirama. If the Sharingan is Sage's Eyes, that is to say, if Sage's Eyes plus Sage Body were combined, it would evolve into Rinnegan. And this is in line with the description in the stone tablet. I don't know what the old man left behind. I think it's something about Ashura and I, but he definitely didn't leave a word before my death. Black Zetsu continues. What are you talking about? Madara was curious. In order to achieve my goal, my soul will be resurrected countless times. But something unexpected happened. My soul did not resurrect but became what it is now. But my chakra is constantly being reincarnated. The same is true for Asura. Black Zetsu sighed softly. It turns out that you are just consciousness. Without chakra, you can't use most ninjutsu. Although you have a strong hiding ability, but after all, it is just a shadow in the dark, and can never go to the front, so you long for a substitute who can realize your ideals for you. Madara sneered. Chakra reincarnation. The reincarnation of Indra chakra refers to him, then Asura chakra reincarnation refers to Hashirama. What absurd rhetoric! Madara didn't believe all of this, but from observation, Black Zetsu was indeed just a mass of consciousness, and there was not even the slightest chakra fluctuation in his body. This is enough to show that he does not have the ability to release ninjutsu himself, and can at best use illusion and shadow-style jutsu similar to the Nara clan. However, what is his fear of these abilities? Even if his body is not fully integrated, it is not this sneaky lonely wild ghost that can control, and now he really lacks an assistant to walk the world on his behalf. Although I really don't want to show my timidity in front of the younger generation, but you are right, I have no strength, but in the state of consciousness, I have many other abilities and can lurch and listen for news. So it is not useless. Black Zetsu knew that his weakness made Madara put down the first line of his defense, and then he only needed to guide him slowly. Although it is more difficult than the original plan, at any rate, he can still do it, and it will not be impossible to complete his plan. Very well, since you are not useless, then it's called for cooperation. Perhaps because of the power of the devil fruit, Madara always felt that the guy in front of him was untrue, but he couldn't tell what he lied to. Forget it, anyway, we will just use each other. As for whether the other party is the soul of Indra, Madara doesn't care, he only cares about his dreams. However, if this black guy is really the reincarnation of Indra, It is very likely that he will occupy his body for the Rinnegan, so he still needs to guard himself. The two reached a brief consensus. But on the other side, the battle is still in full swing. Akaban hadn't planned to make a move, but Uchiha Ensho seemed to regard this side as a stage, and he was already very involved in the play and began to stage his own script. He didn't understand the specific process, only perceiving the chaos. Uchiha Ensho deliberately guided the Jashin cult members to pay attention to them, and then after encountering danger, in a resolutely shout, he awakened his main Gekyu Sharingan. But what Akaban didn't expect was that Uchiha Ensho's eye ability was actually the Amaterasu. The black flame burned all the remaining devil fruits when Uchiha Ensho actually awakened his main Gekyo Sharingan, and the two little guys he brought out were shocked. Then, seeing Uchiha Ensho doing his best to kill all the enemies surrounding them while protecting their clan members, the two finally couldn't help crying. Akaban didn't know what was so touching, but he didn't care about Uchiha's script. He was completely thinking about what happened after Madara left, whether he really awakened the power of the devil fruit he ate. To be cautious, Akaban didn't dare to catch up to check the situation, so he could only guess in his heart, or find someone else to experiment with. For this, he needs to leave Uchiha Ensho and the other three. You opened your main Gekyo Sharingan. Yes, but our identity is exposed and we must leave the country of water immediately. Uchiha Ensho said anxiously. You go back first, and I will hold them back for you. Akaban did not hesitate. You will. Everyone was stunned. Yes, I have Flying Thunder God Jutsu and I can escape at any time. Now it's time for me to guard you. Akaban was very ashamed when he said these words. Although sacrificing for your companion is right, but saying these lines himself even made him have goosebumps. Also, he doesn't really have this idea, but just wants to temporarily separate from them, so as to test the side effects of the devil fruit. Akaban, I didn't expect. Okay, we will go first, you must follow us. After Uchiha Ensho finished speaking, he took the three Uchiha ninjas and ran away. Akaban fell silent and couldn't help but curse. If you're leaving, just leave. Why set a flag for him before leaving? Do you wish I could not go back? Forget it, I must seize a test subject first. The devil fruit belongs to the One Piece series, and its effect in Naruto world is not known for the time being. He doesn't dare to catch two strong opponents, so as not to deal with it in the end. After a round, he hypnotized a member of the Jashin cult. Taking a piece of fruit from the nearby stall, Akaban took the manipulated member of the Jashin cult to the beach. Ox devil fruit, model, bison form exchanged. Who are you? The one who will give you strength, eat it. Akaban cancelled the illusion and threw the fruit at him. The Jashin cult member caught it and then froze for a few seconds. This devil fruit does not seem to be the kind they forged. Is it true? After hesitating for a second, the members of the Jashin cult decisively took a bite. Very unpalatable. But the moment he ate it, he felt that his body was changing drastically, and a peculiar power merged into his body from the fruit. This is the real devil fruit. He roared and his body began to swell. After a second, the Jashin cultist turned into a human-shaped bison, and he was quite burly, 3 times the previous one. What a powerful force, giving it to me is your biggest mistake, die. After eating the fruit, his mentality expands. This guy waved his fist and wanted to kill Akaban. However, Chakra scalpel. With a light stroke, the arm of the Jashin cult muscles was severed, and the imprint of Flying Thunder God Jutsu is painted on his body, and Akaban kicks him into the sea with his foot. He fell in, did not move, and sank directly into the sea. It seems that its weakness is still the sea water. Akaban used the Flying Thunder God Jutsu and teleported the drowning cultist over and took him back to the beach. The points were not enough to exchange another devil fruit to experiment if 2 devil fruits can make the eater explode, so for the time being he will postpone on doing that. Then to the next experiment. He placed the normal fruit next to the cultist, followed by urging chakra and spiritual power. He directly killed the Jashin cult with an illusion. The redemption of ox fruit bison form still does not appear in the list. After a few seconds, the fruit on the side became a new fruit. It will really be reborn. Akaban picked up the fruit. After thinking for a few seconds, it didn't seem to make sense to stay in the water country. So just go back, and take a break. Using the Flying Thunder God Jutsu, he directly moved to the side of Uchiha Ensho. The 4 people grabbed a ship and fled from Land of Water to Land of Fire. He spoke to the 4 of them, and after saying his farewell, Akaban then unlocked the Yin seal and released part of the chakra store in it. And with the use of Flying Thunder God Jutsu, he directly teleported back to the village and appeared in Hokage office buildings. Akaban, why are you back? Hiruzen immediately noticed the violent chakra fluctuations, and rushed to the mark, and found that Akaban had transmitted from the other side, and at the same time, he was still holding a devil fruit. This is the devil fruit I grabbed in the water country, and I also grabbed a fake one. Akaban also took out the scroll that sealed the fake fruit. Devil fruit. Hiruzen's mouth was wide open and he looked at a loss. Isn't that a thing from a comic? Is there really such a thing in the world? Let's go to Anbu and talk, there are too many people here. Akaban looked around, then brought Hiruzen with the use of Flying Thunder God Jutsu directly to the entrance of Anbu base. Fortunately, the 3rd Hokage didn't feel motion sickness like Danza. This is the devil fruit. Danza watched and observed the devil fruit over and over again, but he still couldn't see the difference between this fruit and ordinary fruit. Yes, I saw with my own eyes that the cultist turned into a huge buffalo after eating it. And after killing that guy, this fruit appeared. Isn't that amazing? It's incredible. Danza felt like he was living in a dream. There really are devil fruits in the world. What made him even more curious was how Akaban knew this, and he was able to draw devil fruits with exactly the same ability. Did this kid already know? Impossible. Judging from the boy's usual reaction, he absolutely did not know that there were devil fruits in the world, otherwise, he would not be so shocked right now. He can only say that it is really incredible. Where did the fake come from? Hiruzen asked with some doubts. It was created by the Jashinists in a certain way. It was too dangerous to observe the specific process, but it should be related to the evil chakra of the cultist. Akaban explained a bit but didn't say that he secretly mixed the Whisper Devil fruit in. Jashinists. By the way, when we passed by the Uzumaki country, we also found a strange ninja with 2 Uzumaki children. Akaban briefly recounted what happened. He didn't say too much detail but described that the other party had some special ability to send the child away. As for the other child, Uchiha Ensho and the others placed her in a certain village in the country of fire, and he should bring her with him when he returns. Hiruzen and Danza both have a headache. Although the Jashinists cult has not been found in the fire country for the time being, with the style of this sect, It will spread to the fire country sooner or later as long as it is not extinct. Also, the follow-up of the land of Uzumaki also urgently needs to be resolved. There are too many people secretly eyeing the Uzumaki bloodline and sealing technique. And there are also these devil fruits. When this news spreads, I am afraid that the whole world of ninja will be in chaos. Everyone will spontaneously open up a grand line belonging to the world of ninja, and disputes between ninja villages will be indispensable once again. But from the perspective of Danza, this is also a good thing. At least fighting at sea will not destroy the country since war is always inevitable. He thought for a while. Instead of entangled with the Jashinist's cult and the land of Uzumaki, he asked, "You are the one who drew the One Piece and have the most comprehensive idea of the devil fruit. What do you think should be done with this devil fruit? If it has the same effect as the devil fruit in my comic, then I think the person who suits it best is Dai." Akaban did not hesitate to say this. He thought about it on the road. The bison form can strengthen the body, speed and impact, and it is obviously better to use it with the 8 inner gate. And if Dai can awaken the devil fruit, the picture is too beautiful to imagine. I object. The ability of this kind of fruit has not been tested. It is not certain whether it is really a fruit or not. You can't jump to a conclusion based on what you see. I think we should do further research. Hiruzen said solemnly. How should we study it? Should we stare at it all day? There is nothing peculiar about it, but Akaban's method shows that it does possess incredible power. Are we not going to use it because it's unknown? Danza said with anger and behaved quite annoyed. Akaban was not surprised at all. The two of them quarreled no more than a day or two, everyone was used to it, but fortunately, there was no possibility of a big fight after the lessons they received from Uzumaki Mito last time, otherwise, Akaban would find a way to get out of her. Teacher, Hokage-sama, in fact, you don't need to argue, anyway, after the devil fruit user is killed, it will be resurrected in the nearby fruit. So just give it to an animal to test it. Hearing this sentence, Hiruzen and Danza were silent at the same time. Can this really happen? After thinking about it, it seems there is nothing wrong. Smelly boy, how didn't you say it beforehand? Hiruzen scolded. Danza also looked at him coldly. If it's okay, I will go home and report my safety. Akaban said, changing the topic. Take all the devil fruits with you and send them to Orochimaru by yourself. Danza was expressionless and returned him the 2 real and fake devil fruits. In terms of research, Orochimaru is undoubtedly a professional. Although he is only 13 or 14 years old, he has completely formed his own set of thinking in research and is definitely at the top level. Akaban chakra has not recovered yet. In order to return to Konoha directly from the border, he consumed a large number of chakras, and even spent most of the chakras stored in his yin seal, so he did not plan to use his flying thunder god jutsu to travel back and forth in a short time. The top priority is to restore his chakra first. There is still a lot of chakra left in his body, but his body consumes a lot of energy, so after taking a short break and taking 1 or 2 chakra pills, Akaban quickly recovers part of his chakra. Although it is not large, it is enough to teleport near the research institute of the preparatory department. Orochimaru is now studying like a madman. As long as there are research topics that interest him, he can skip meals, sleep, and even ignore people. That's right. Taking the devil fruit, Orochimaru slammed him outside and had no intention of letting him go in and sit down. Akaban was silent for a long time. The demolition of the bridge across the river was too obvious, causing serious discomfort. Forget it, go home and rest. He has had enough of not sleeping for more than a day, and what he wants to do most now is to go home, lie on a soft, warm bed, and get a good night's sleep. However, as soon as he came back from the outside, it was destined to not be smooth sailing. Soon after hearing the news, Tsunade didn't do any work in the hospital and ran out to look for him. When Akaban returned to the comic shop and was about to go home, he ran into Tsunade. A smile appeared on Tsunade's face when she saw he was safe. But soon, with a dark face, she took out a comic from her pocket, and said angrily, "Akaba, can you explain what this stone statue means? Also, what is this second Tsunade? Am I very violent?" This is the latest update. Although Akaban left Konoha the day before yesterday, the shadow clone that remained behind has dutifully completed the update mission of Naruto and One Piece. The problem with the stone statue seems to be that Tsunade's Hokage stone statue has a weird expression in a submirror, and looks very impatient. No, you are very gentle, it's just a different kind of gentleness. Akaban has a strong desire to survive, so he lies without getting red. If he just says yes or hesitates, the consequences are probably not good. So for the sake of his own life, it is better to tell a white lie. Kurama Yunlane, who heard it, remained silent. Gentle. This kind of gentleness is really hard for Akaban. HMPH, it's good that you know. But you don't mean that at all in your comic. Here, look at the expressions and thoughts of Kakashi and Sakura, so that everyone will misunderstand me. Tsunade uttered a few words in dissatisfaction. She sat down, obviously quite dissatisfied with Akaban's latest update, but since she became the fifth Hokage in the comics, she will forgive him this time. Well, don't care about these details, art is always exaggerated. Don't mention art. When I heard that word, it just made me angry. And it will make me think of that idiot Jiraiya. Tsunade was about to move her hands and couldn't help but want to hit someone. What happened to him? Akaban is curious. It seems Jiraiya's desire to die is undiminished. Some time ago, Gamabunta was sitting in the insect restaurant and made a lot of noise. And due to it, Jiraiya becomes miserable as he is always receiving the blame while also tidying Gamabunta mess. That idiot developed some kind of harem jutsu, and he is still showing off his power on the street, and he has lost the face of teacher Sarutobi. Tsunade was so angry. Akaban now knows why Tsunade was so angry. Creating such a dangerous jutsu, Jiraiya is indeed very crazy about the third Hokage. Instead of worrying about him losing his prestige, they should worry about him being hospitalized when he sees this technique. Murdering a Hokage is a big crime. Forget it, I will go back first since there will be an operation in the afternoon. Tsunade got up. She was also worried about Akaban's safety, so she put down work and ran out of the hospital. So seeing Akaban's safety, she was completely relieved. Akaban nodded. Originally, he was planning to go back to rest, so he just happened to go out and meet Tsunade. At the Uchiha clan, a group of people sat together and watched the comics updated today. Sasuke has no more role in the comics, sigh. Rather than thinking about relying on comics to advance, it's better to train yourself. Even if you say that. They all understand the truth, but they still couldn't help becoming depressed. A group of Uchiha people sighed. These plots about Akatsuki's invasion and abduction of the Kazekage are indeed very beautiful and exciting, but they don't know why the comic that everyone was looking forward to suddenly became dull. Not far away, at Uchiha Yuan House, Yuan watched this scene, touched the child's hair on his side, and said, Fugaku, it is our inner love, not the tragic plot of the comics, that really evolves our main Gekyo. You have to understand this. My father, I know. Just like Big Brother Akaban, he is so powerful at the age of 13. It is impossible to rely on comics alone. I tried my best to don't use genius to obliterate my efforts. I think Sajuke's lines are probably the voice of Akaban's big brother. Fugaku's voice was immature, but what he said was rarely mature, but he was less than 5 years old, and he had already shown higher insight and wisdom than some 7 or 8-year-old children outside. He stroked Fugaku's hair and said proudly, as expected of my son. My father, these are my lines. Fugaku said dissatisfied. Well, it's your line. Today, I will teach you the shuriken manipulation from the Uchiha family. Uchiha Yuan squatted down. Really? Great, I want to learn Uchiha Itakai's manipulation skills. Sorry, I don't know this either. Oh, then I'm not going to learn. After Fugaku finished speaking, he picked up a few handfuls of kunai and walked into the yard, and then threw it out. A series of kunai flew out one after another, and finally, they kept colliding in the air and taking advantage of the force, and then dumbly hit some surrounding targets. However, it is only a hit, most of the deviations are serious, and there is no mark that was hit. In terms of technique, Fugaku is quite qualified. It can only be said that his age limits his strength, which in turn affects his hit rate. Uchiha Yuan was ashamed. Although he is the head of the clan, he stays in the village to take charge of the work of the gods. Therefore, he has relatively little experience in fighting on the battlefield. Regarding the skills of shuriken, he is not sure, probably. As expected of my son. Damn it, Konoha's stinky kid is slandering my sand village in the comic again. Zack, who was in his office, was quite furious. A village that is so big that they can't even keep their own Kazekage safe. What is the use of being one of the 5 great ninja villages? Not only that. When Gaara was fighting, the rest of the ninjas in the village ate farts and only became onlookers. Even if Sand Village ranked last among the 5 major villages, it is quite insulting for them when it was drawn to this level. Insult, it was an outright insult. The people from Konoha are warning us that if we continue to fight against them, the result is a dead end. Shaman sighed. Kiyo and Ebizo glance at each other. Finally, Kiyo said, Shaman, since the last incident, you have developed a phobia of Konoha. It is always like this when you see things in the comics, you always think over the top. This will not work. No, I am not thinking over the top. Shaman said solemnly, Konoha's background is terribly strong, you should know, Uchiha clan. Although it happened a long time ago, we only got news now. This is my work fault. But I heard that Uchiha has paid a huge price for this, and their strength must be lost by half. Ebizo took the initiative and retorted. Teacher, 2 elders, from One Piece to Naruto, the plot all insinuates our Sand Village. And this is absolutely unforgivable. In the end, Zack was young and vigorous, and couldn't bear this insult. He was already planning what to do. It didn't take long for him to have an idea. Aunt Kiyo, I remember your son is a famous genius. Sajuke, my child is already Anbu Chunin. Wouldn't it be a joke to ask him to take the Chunin exam? Kiyo frowned slightly. Anbu Chunin is their internal rating and is not recognized by many ninja villages, but for ninjas, it does not matter whether they are recognized or not, what is important is their strength. Asking an elite Chunin to deal with Konoha's genin, even if he wins, he wouldn't feel happy about it, which would only deceive himself and others. Although he is an Anbu, he has hardly performed any mission in the Land of Fire since he was a ninja. Sister, since he was a ninja, you can let him go out and have a look, Ibisu said. In Akaban's generation, the strength of the 9 Konoha's Chunin was extraordinary. But after a year, what strength is the new generation? Besides, Shaman sighed and said, don't forget that only 3 of the 9 genins in the previous year passed the Chunin exam and got promoted, and the remaining 6 ninjas can also take this year's Chunin exam through this method. After hearing this, Zack felt more disappointed in his heart. Just as Kyo said, his teacher has lost his spirit, and he is no longer the second Kazekage who used to destroy the ninja world with his quirk. But on the other hand, he knows that what Shaman said is real and deadly. Although they can let Chunin from Anbu participate in the exam, Konoha can also do the same. Really, the Sand Village still has no advantage. He was very angry. The Land of Wind is too poor to cultivate so many talents like Konoha. Damn it, we should have money. Now, the Chunin examination rules have only been promulgated for more than a year, so the two are separated by a year. But on Konoha's side, no one was worried about the Chunin exam. This generation of Konoha ninja is indeed full of talents. Leaving aside Gekko Yu, Shin, Jiraiya and others who participated in the Chunin exam last year, this year genins are not to be trifled in strength either, not to mention this new generation, there is Might Dewey, Uchiha Ryo and others. The next morning, Akaban had not yet got up, but his door was being knocked. Opening his eyes, he used his perception to know who was outside without looking. Outside his door was Kurama Kiko, his mother, but apart from her, there was a man sitting in the hall. Based on his aura, he seemed to be a ninja of the Senju clan. Akaban pondered for a moment and then understood that the child from the Uzumaki clan was probably brought to Konoha by Uchiha Ensho and others. Mother, wait a minute, I will get up immediately. Okay, don't let the guests wait long. Kurama Kiko went back and continued to prepare Akaban's breakfast. She was always gentle and considerate, and since her marriage, she has rarely done any tasks. Akaban rubbed his shoulders, then got up to change his clothes. Going downstairs, he saw the rice ball that had just been made. He took a few, then looked at the guest and looked at his appearance. He was indeed from the Senju clan. He would occasionally run into him when he went to the Senju clan. He should be Tsunad's cousin by seniority. Maito-sama asked you to come over. It's about that child, right? Okay, I'll go over there immediately. Akaban stuffed a few bites of rice balls. The other party nodded lightly, just about to say something, but the person in front of him had disappeared. What's the situation? This kid, he used Flying Thunder God Jutsu again, and... I'm sorry, it seems you need to go back by yourself. Kurama Kiko was a little embarrassed. It's rude not to take others along the way. No, it's okay. Flying Thunder God Jutsu. He sincerely envied Akaban, thinking how he had also asked Senju Tobirama about it, but unfortunately, he didn't learn it at all. What a genius. On the other side, Akaban teleported over, only to remember that he didn't take the cousin on the way. Forget it, the problem is not big anyway. Things on Uzumaki Maito's side are more important, and he should be able to understand his anxiety. Thinking of this, Akaban swaggered towards the courtyard of Uzumaki Maito. Don't be afraid, Grandma is your relative, Grandma is here. Before reaching the yard, Akaban had heard the gentle voice of Uzumaki Maito, and she was so gentle and like water to the people outside, unlike when she was facing Akaban and Tsunade. He took a deep breath to calm his mood. Then, a cry came from the yard, which seemed to be the voice of a little girl. He couldn't see her dirty face that day. So it was a girl. Akaban walked in. He saw a little girl whose arm was covered with tooth marks, and Tsunade used healing jutsu to heal and erase her wounds with a distressed look. Tooth marks. Black Zetsu is really vicious. This little girl has the healing power of the Uzumaki clan. He doesn't know what talent the other is. He regretted it for not saving the other child. If he had known that the two children Black Zetsu was looking for were so talented, he should try to save the other child no matter what. And if he has no other choice, although it is cruel, even if he can't save the other child, he should kill it. Because a child from Uzumaki being in the hands of Black Zetsu, it is likely to become another Nagato. Although Rinnegan hasn't even appeared yet, with Madara's status and strength, awakening his Rinnegan is just a matter of time. Akaba. When Uzumaki Maito saw Akaban, she opened her mouth, and then didn't know what to say, so she pointed to the front position and said nothing. The rest of the children stepped aside. Akaban sat down in a mixed mood. Obviously, Uzumaki Maito was in the same mood, so he didn't speak since he didn't know what to say. You saved me that day. She recognizes Akaban. Even if Akaban didn't show up that day, his aura and chakra that she felt could not be wrong. He was the benefactor who saved her that day. My name is Kurama Akaban. I'm sorry that something happened that day. I can't take you back to Konoha immediately. Akaban bowed slightly. No, I'm very grateful. That guy is terrible, and I will definitely die if I follow him. She was terrified. The closer she gets, the more she can feel Black Zetsu's evilness. Chihaya, don't be so scared, you are in Konoha, no one dares to bully you, no one can kill you. Uzumaki Maito continued to appease her. Go to sleep, after you wake up, your fear will stay away from you. I wish you a sweet dream. In the next second, Uzumaki Chihaya's eyes gradually closed, and after a shake, her head hung down and she fell asleep. Later, the little dream Tapper was summoned. Weave Dreamer, let this child have a good dream. Akaban said softly. Little Tapper looked around, and when he noticed Uzumaki Maito, he immediately dared not hide, and replied categorically, dreamy dream. With just a word, Chihaya fell into her dream. Uzumaki Maito touched Uzumaki Chihaya's hair and then said to Tsunade, you will check and treat her whole body. I will discuss something with Akaban. Don't worry. Tsunade nodded. Uzumaki Chihaya's mood was in a state of complication, so it was not suitable for her to be sent to the hospital, so she had to treat it herself. The surrounding children watched worriedly, including Uzumaki Tomiko. This is the first time they have seen the people from the Uzumaki country after the war. Everyone lived very well before, and even the poorest families could live happily. However, when they saw Chihaya's appearance, Konoha's beggars were probably more decent than her. Akaban and Uzumaki Maito leave the courtyard. Grandma Maito. Akaban, that child has a healing ability that is rare in our family. As long as someone bites her, she can recover from his injuries, but the cost is. Uzumaki Maito's heart aches. She is just a child, but from the bitten mark she has, it can be seen how miserable her life is. That guy has a good vision. Akaban nodded slightly. Do you see his appearance clearly? Uzumaki Maito asked solemnly. No, I don't even know what method he used to control that mist ninja. Maybe it was an illusion or a kind of living puppet jutsu. In short, he can control others to a certain extent. Akaban didn't disclose too much detail, so as not to raise doubts. What a hateful guy. Uzumaki Maito gritted her teeth. Regardless of whether there is someone like Black Zetsu behind the war in the land of Uzumaki, but she already hated Black Zetsu in her heart. He took a member of the Uzumaki tribe. Based on the information I got from Chihiya's mouth, the other party probably wanted to brainwash them into peace warriors with distorted thinking like Akatsuki. I won't let him go. In order to get revenge, I will try to live, even if I support myself for a few more years. Uzumaki Maito aura surge. This blazing killing intent and aura made Akaban on the side a little unable to hold it. Too strong. At this moment, he felt that Uzumaki Maito's face had changed. Originally, she maintained a young appearance, but at this moment, she withdrew the chakra she needed to maintain her appearance, as she returned to an old state. In order to live longer, she gave up the appearance that she valued, but her body function and aura became stronger. I will work hard. Akaban nodded lightly. Akaban, what the hell is going on? Tsunade was shocked. Her grandma loves Konoha very much, but she also values her appearance, but now she cancels the chakra that maintains her appearance. Either it is because her lifespan will not be enough to support chakra consumption, or sigh. It's not what you think. I can't tell you the specific situation. Akaban said as he and Tsunade walked outside. The treatment has ended. In fact, Chihiya's physique is quite good, and her recovery ability is also very fast. It's just that Chihiya is only 11 or 12 years old, and her chakra is not that much. And because the frequent treatments she used to treat others, brought repercussions to her small body. Tsunade was silent for a moment, then nodded and did not force Akaban to speak. She knows that if he can talk about it to her, he would do that, which means it's something she didn't need to know for the time being. I still have an update to complete. So I have to go back and draw tomorrow's update. If you need help here, come to the comic shop to find me. Well, I have to train too. I have been busy with medical ninjutsu recently. I haven't trained in other ninjutsu for a long time. Tsunade nodded. Although Akaban didn't say it, she felt from some of his voice that the matter this time might not be as simple as the surface. Perhaps, there will be a big battle. Bye. After Akaban said the last sentence, he urged the Flying Thunder God Jutsu to leave. Back at the comic shop, he thought for a long time. Originally, according to his plan, he must be very meticulous. Let the plots of Rinnegan and demonic statue of the outer path be delayed later, and it would not be too late to paint these contents when he had enough mature power. At first, he intends to do the plot of Gaara's arrest, the Akatsuki's scene of dealing with the tail beast to be balanced. But now, Madara took the Whisperer Devil Fruit. Although I still don't understand how the Devil Fruit user of Naruto World can use the Devil Fruit, but with Madara being the user of the Devil Fruit, he is obviously going to become much stronger than Apis, who are the original possessor of the Devil Fruit in One Piece. And maybe he already knows how to use it. If that happens, they may have joined forces. Sitting on the tatami in the lounge, Akaban began to rack his brains to reason about the changes that had occurred due to the Devil Fruit. Unexpectedly, Madara would get involved. It was his mistake. However, although Madara found the existence of Black Zetsu, it is not completely unprofitable for him. It's because Black Zetsu no longer has the possibility of posing as the other side of Madara. With Black Zetsu character, I broke his plan twice before, and this time he was discovered in advance by Madara. So he definitely wants to get rid of me, and whether I draw Rinnegan or not, his target will still be me. Thinking of this, Akaban took a deep breath. Since he was already on their radar, what else is there to be afraid of? In addition, it has been verified that devil fruit also has the weakness of seawater in this world, so except for the limitation of whether it can only be eaten once, he doesn't need to be worried about the rest for the time being. Then, the devil fruit exchange can also be put on the agenda. And considering the nearby plot, the best choice is undoubtedly Sky Island, the fruit of thunder. More than that, there will also be an important perception ability heart net in that plot. The heart net is the name the Sky people call for observation haki. The perception of the Uzumaki clan alone cannot accurately locate the location of Black Zetsu, so what about the observation haki? No matter how you look at it, the plot must be quickly advanced to the Sky Island in the short term. Very well, it seems that we need to make the update much faster. The three of you have a division of labor, one of you will draw the content of the 5 chapters. Today, I will draw the One Piece update of the 15 chapters. While the other 2 are responsible for the update of Naruto. After he finished assigning the task, 3 shadow clones were separated in one breath. Before, Akaban didn't dare to try this way, but now he has a physical strength of 170 points and a mental power of 210 points. Adding the 2 together, how can he not support 3 clones working at the same time? The 3 shadow clones glanced at each other, and then they said, "It's really rare, but for the sake of your own work, today we will draw at least 20 chapters for you." Very good, start work. Akaban put out his tools and began to paint seriously. The content of the 5 chapters is not too much. With his current hand speed, as long as he paints with all his strength, the update can be completed in 2 hours. On the other side, in a natural cave in the land of water, you already have the cells of the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan and the Sage Body. As long as you can extract the power of the 2, fuse them into power of 6 paths, and then use this power to stimulate your eyes, then you can get the Rinnegan. It's a pity that I woke up too late. When I understand this, I am no longer an Asura opponent. Black Zetsu pointed to Madara's fusion power, while sighing, deepening the setting that he is Indra, making Madara believe that he is Indra. So that's how it is, the combination of 2 means not chakra, but the combination of perfect physique and a perfect Sharingan at the same time. Madara said. No wonder he hasn't been able to evolve his eyes for so long. However, he didn't believe Black Zetsu at all. From the feedback of Devil Fruit's ability, he felt that Black Zetsu had hidden some secret. So I have to find a way to strengthen the power of the Devil Fruit, he secretly said in his heart. At that moment, Black Zetsu gave him these benefits. After some experiments, he did feel different chakras in the cells between the Senju Hashirama. The next step is to merge chakras. Then, I will go back to see the child of the Uzumaki clan. He has a very good physique. After a little training, I will teach him some sealing techniques. In the future, he will become a good tool for catching tail beasts. Black Zetsu said. It's up to you. Madara didn't care. The sealing technique of the Uzumaki clan is indeed powerful, but the other side is just a child. Even if the self-proclaimed Indra guy does not have enough chakra in his body, he is still extremely small in the face of absolute power. His primary key now is Rinnegan. As long as he has the eyes of reincarnation, no matter whether it is the tail beast or the black Zetsu, they won't possess any threat to him. Why is this kid suddenly releasing many updates today? Is he ill or something? On the land of rivers, Kakuzu feels extremely confused. Akaban only updates 1 or 2 updates for the One Piece, while Naruto has been updating it all the time. But today, One Piece has updated 20 chapters in one go. Is it the end of the world? Leader, the ship going to sea has been set up, but our ship may not be able to withstand the wind and waves of the sea. Should we let others try it first? What to test? That boy Luffy can survive in a small broken ship and a barrel. We are all ninjas, can we still die at sea? Kakuzu glanced at him indifferently, and suddenly the rebel ninja dared not speak anymore. On the river, a large ship with a pirate flag that has a heart drawn on it with a skull caught everyone's eyes. This is Kakuzu's pirate ship Heart. Take someone and go. In Konoha, Danza is sitting in the office, watching the newly arrived update. He used to care more about Naruto, but since the appearance of Devil Fruit, he began to focus on the plot and setting of One Piece. This is a completely different world from the ninja, but some common points can be found in many abilities. My lord, Hokage-sama sent a research report of Orochimaru on the Devil Fruit. Leave it here. Danza rubbed his eyebrows to relieve his eye strain after reading the comic. With only one eye, he was still a little uncomfortable reading comics under dim light. A few seconds later, he picked up the report on the table. The report was very detailed, he looked at it word by word from top to bottom. Finally, he fell into deep thought. The report is very complicated, but the summary is actually very simple. After eating the ox fruits, the domestic pig as the test subject became as tall and sturdy as a bison, with horns, no fat on the body, and great strength. At the same time, experiments proved that after killing this pig, an orange in the fruit basket placed beside it inexplicably became a new devil fruit. All this confirmed that what Akaban said was correct. But why does Akaban know the devil fruit? Does the appearance of this thing really have nothing to do with that kid? Akaban left the day before yesterday, and when he thought about it, he felt that there was a problem inside. Of course, that kid did not know something. For example, when the devil fruit is reborn, Akaban is surprised and doesn't seem to know this, and Danza does not see this kind of setting in the current comics. It's weird. After a long period of contemplation, he temporarily set aside the devil fruit matter, and then picked up the update of the Naruto comic again. The information in this volume is equally explosive. This is the legendary Rinnegan. Akatsuki, tailed beast, Rinnegan, and the weird giant statue, is there any connection among the four? Danza meditated quietly. There are too many information points revealed in this chapter. Although it is only a comic, since the appearance of Devil Fruit, he has not regarded it as a mere comic anymore. Can these be real things? As the leader of darkness, he always thought of the worst results. If these abilities really exist in the world, no matter why the giant statue and Rinnegan owner collect the tailed beast, it will be very unfavorable for Konoha. Because Konoha has the strongest 9 tails among the 9 tail beasts. Wait a minute. He sat up quickly and looked for the report from the table. Not long after, the report sent by Uchiha Ensho was republished. There was not only Uchiha Ensho's report but also Uzumaki Chihiya's confession. At the time Senju Hashirama was alive, there was peace in the ninja world. War broke out immediately after Senju Hashirama's death, and the Uzumaki clan was subsequently destroyed. It is not that everyone loves to have a war, but it is because not everyone has the power to maintain peace like Senju Hashirama. This sentence was said to Uzumaki Chihaya by that mist-hidden shinobi. The thinking in Danza's mind suddenly became clear. Yes, this is it. What power is stronger in the world than the 9 great-tailed beast? But is a Katsuki collecting tailed beast really just for peace? It's not that Danza didn't believe it, but he really doesn't believe that when an organization with so many powerful people gathers the 9-tailed beasts, the purpose is purely for peace in the ninja world. Even if the leader thinks this way, the strong men under him will definitely not agree. Combined with the disappearance of another child, there is no doubt that this mist ninja is not a good guy, and his purpose is definitely not simple. Danza knocked on the table and then rang a bell. Not long after, an Anbu appeared in front of him. Send manpower to the country of the Uzumaki to investigate this mist Chunin, name, level, responsibilities, what he was doing that day, how did he find the 2 children, what did he do in the process, I want to know all this. Yes. How is it? Did you find anything useful from the devil fruit? Yes, I researched it. And dye is the most suitable to eat it for sure. When combined with ox devil fruit, the 8 inner gates will have lower side effects but will have greater formidable power, and the most important thing is that it has horns. Dye attack methods will not be as monotonous as before. Orochimaru licked his lips. With that powerful and weird power, he couldn't help but want to continue his research. And dye was undoubtedly a very good subject. Akaban touched his chin and nodded gently, it's okay. He had originally planned to give it to Dai, but Orochimaru directly let Dai eat it after studying it. This somewhat surprised him. By the way, about that Rinnegan. I am very curious about these legendary eyes. If you get one, please notify me. Orochimaru said as his eyes tell it all that he was very eager to get his hand on it. At this embarrassing request, Akaban fell silent and couldn't help cursing in his mind. How can you say it like that? Do you think it's a cabbage that you can buy on the street? That's Rinnegan. Even I don't even have it. That thing needs 10,000 points to redeem. And this is just the second thing. Whether I can use it or not is a problem. Furthermore, even if there is one, it is impossible to dig it out for you to study. He secretly complained. Sorry, it seems that you don't have the ability to turn fantasy into reality. Orochimaru sighed regretfully. After studying the fruit, he found that the existence of this thing was completely inconsistent with the theories he had known before. There are countless speculations in his mind, and Akaban's ability to turn illusion into reality is one of them. Do you think that's possible? Akaban is very calm, without any mood swings. With his current mental power and illusion ability, controlling his emotions is a piece of cake. If you can, it's a good thing for me since I will have a lot of materials that can be researched. That's why I still hope Akaban-kun can do this. Orochimaru smiled, then got up to leave. He came out of the laboratory on a rare occasion, but he didn't come out because he wanted to chat with Akaban, but the third Hokage had important matters for him to do, and even the documents were sent to the laboratory. Walk slowly, you can come here to find me if you need help. I probably won't go out that much since I am focusing on my comic. Akaban said as he waves goodbye. He drew the One Piece to more than 20 plus chapters in one breath yesterday, and the battle between Luffy and Crocodile was in full swing, reaching the most critical moment. If he wants to keep this update today, it is estimated that he will be able to end the Alabaster chapter. And the effect of updating so many chapters in a day is also very strong. He has already earned more than 10,000 points today. If he is not worried that the Rinnegan can make his body like Nagato, he would already redeem the Rinnegan. But since he is worried, he postponed that plan for now. When he woke up at noon and went out, he spent 7,500 in exchange for 30 physiques, holding his physique attribute to 200. 200 is a watershed. According to Akaban's experiment, the 200 mental power is already stronger than the third Hokage, but the third Hokage is not good at illusion, so his spiritual energy will definitely be relatively weak. Even so, the 200 physiques should be able to touch the threshold of the Hokage level in terms of attributes alone. In terms of comprehensive ability, after Akaban's firepower is fully activated, he is very powerful at the Hokage level. However, since Madara discovers Black Zetsu with the use of the Whispering Fruit, he will likely understand the mystery of the Rinnegan in advance, and then gain the power of the Rinnegan. In this way, there is no need for him to reincarnate again like in the original story. After all, from the current perspective, although Madara is aging, it seems that he can survive for several years thanks to Hashirama cells. In short, the variables are huge. Thinking of yesterday, Uzumaki Maito took the initiative to give up her youthful appearance. He pondered. Although Uzumaki Maito still has a considerable amount of lifespan, at most she can only battle once or twice in full-scale battle, after that she will surely weaken. Although Tomiko already possesses the basic abilities of a Jinchuriki, she seems too weak compared to Kushina. So he can't let Uzumaki Maito die. Should I draw a movie version? Think about it again, anyway, she still has a lot of lifespans. Madara can't attack Konoha now. Granny Maito is not dead, so he doesn't have the guts. Akaban said in his heart. Madara should be hiding in the land of water right now, where news is blocked, the comics have not been spread so quickly, and there will be no actions in a short time. As for Black Zetsu, he can't prevent it, so he can only speed up the update, and exchange the training method of observation haki as soon as possible. He just exchanged his points for attributes today. So he can try summoning 4 shadow clones today. Yesterday, the 3 shadow clones worked at the same time for one afternoon. After adding the workload of the 3, it seems that he can still withstand more workload on his brain. Training course. I ran 500 laps, sat down and took a few breaths, then immediately went into training again. When he got the fruit in the morning, he didn't think there was anything wrong, but when he went back to find out, he knew that this fruit, even in Konoha, seemed to be the only one. Knowing this, Dai felt that his youthful blood was about to boil. In the next second, his body suddenly changed to a bison state, and the change made him caught off guard. Whoosh tilde. A few seconds later, he knocked down 2 or 3 big trees before stopping. Damn it, it will change suddenly. I must learn to control it, otherwise, how can I be worthy of the attention of Akaban-sama and Orochimaru-sama? Woohoo tilde I must run 1,000 laps around the training ground. If I can't do it, I will stand upside down and attack the stake 500 times with my foot. This kid. Black Zetsu was stunned while holding the book, it's because he gloriously appeared on the scene today. More than that, there is also the Rinnegan and the demonic statue of the outer path. Black Zetsu suddenly felt a little uneasy. From the first time he took the initiative to find the kid, he seemed to be very unlucky, and this bad luck has not disappeared. He took a deep breath. The key is not this, but how much does that kid know? All, still. He is absolutely unsure. All this makes him very scared. From birth to now, he has been living in the darkness out of the sight of others. Akaban's approach is equivalent to lifting the piece of cloth and exposing him from the darkness to the sun. No, I want to kill him, I must kill this kid. Black Zetsu murmured to himself, that kid is a real devil, and if he let him live, everything might be ruined, especially his plan for Madara. The grand plan of resurrecting his mother must never fail. But what to do? Madara is out of the question for now. That guy is suspicious of him. The more anxious I am, the more he feels tricked. But if that kid knows enough, he might even instigate me against Uchiha Madara. Black Zetsu calmed himself down. If Madara knew that all of this was planned by him, then the first enemy Madara would deal with first after awakening his Rinnegan would be him. So he must rely on himself. But how can he do it himself? Black Zetsu has a hand in conspiracy, and his reconnaissance ability is even better in the world, but if he is playing hard, Konoha may be able to hit him if he faces a Chunin. Akaban's specific strength is not clear to him, but looking at the violent fist technique and Genjutsu's miraculous effect on him, that kid is definitely very powerful. What's more, that guy can sense him. I have to find someone. For thousands of years, Black Zetsu has never been so urgent and powerless, and sometimes conspiracy is powerless. Like now. After thinking about it, he felt that using the Hidden Sand Village had the greatest success rate. Hidden Sand Village's new Kage is in the top position, and Konoha has been hitting it all the time. In addition, Akaban's two comics recently slandered Hidden Sand Village, so his plan to use that young Kage success rate was very high. But I may not be able to fool those people. Well, go and scout it first, as long as there is sufficient reason, he can also fool Madara. Black Zetsu thought of this and decided to go to Sand Village to observe the situation. At this moment, Sand Village didn't know that someone was eyeing them, and was now discussing the issue of devil fruit. The water country was far away from Sand Village, and even if there was an eagle to transmit information, it would still take a lot of time. The sale of the devil fruit was confirmed to be a conspiracy planned by a certain cult, but a real devil fruit unexpectedly appeared in it, and an unknown man obtained it. Ibizo reads the message there Anbu sent back. Among the four sittings, Kyo had already heard of it, so she was not surprised, but Zack and Shaman didn't know it yet, and they were naturally shocked at first. After a second or two, Zack asked, "The real devil fruit? Can you be sure?" "I can't be sure, but the cult certainly doesn't know the effect of that fruit," Ibisu answered very calmly. "In other words, it may indeed exist." Zack took a deep breath. "As long as you have read the comics, you know how weird the devil fruit is, and its effect is even more amazing than many Kekii Genkai. If the fruit of the devil really exists on the sea, Sand Village must go out to search for it." Zack originally wanted to make a decision, but thinking that his teacher was there, he hesitated for a moment and asked, "Teacher, what do you think?" "I think there is no harm to all benefits. There are many resources on the sea. I asked for the development of marine resources before, but the daimyo refused due to the barrenness and scarcity of the sea. So this is a good opportunity." Shaman nodded and said, "Okay, then I will draft now and apply to the daimyo for the ship." Zack was extremely excited. Afterwards, a flying eagle flew from Sand Village to the daimyo mansion in the Land of Wind. In fact, not only Hidden Sand Village, Hidden Stone Village, Hidden Cloud Village, and even Land of Waterfall have received news one after another. Knowing that Land of Water has real devil fruit, they then prepare some ships from their countries ready to set off and explore the coastal road towards Land of Water. The great voyage of the ninja world was opened by a devil fruit. Your brat arranges sand village like this, aren't you afraid that they will send someone to assassinate you? Danza pointed to the comic on the table as he glared at Akaban. Today, he rarely came out of the Anbu base to go to the comic shop to look for Akaban. Teacher, wait a minute, I'll finish this. Akaban said as he glanced at the comic while still painting. Okay. Danza nodded slightly, and his only remaining eye scanned the narrow lounge. 4 shadow clones and 1 body. Really a smart kid. This kid desperately continued updating updates for his comic after returning from the Land of Water. Absolutely something happened in the water country, otherwise, he knew Akaban and would not choose to do so even if he could maintain his quadruple. Danza thought as he sat aside, watching quietly. Akaban drew very quickly, basically drawing a picture in 10 seconds, and his hands were fast enough to fly. The key is that the plot seems to be in his mind. It is obviously the same comic, but drawing 4 clones at the same time will not affect the continuity of the plot. He thought to himself that the origin of Akaban's thoughts was obviously not simple. Such as devil fruit. The mysterious fruits that no one knows actually exist in the world. How did this kid know these? Is it from his dream? It may be possible, but what is certain is that this dream has absolutely nothing to do with the Dream to Per family. Because before he gave the scroll to Akaban, this kid had already drawn the one piece. When Danza was thinking, "Teacher, I'm done here." After Akaban finished speaking, he called back all the shadow clones one by one, and waves of fatigue swept over him. Fortunately, he was completely able to bear it now. After a while, he rubbed his temples and then got up and bowed slightly, which was regarded as making up for the previous etiquette. Recently, you have been doing it with no rest. Don't harm your health just for the quickness of your update, so you have to pay attention to rest. In addition, I come this time to talk about the 2 enemies that appeared in the Land of Uzumaki and the Land of Water. After sitting down, Danza tapped the table lightly. Akaban, hearing it, immediately used Genjutsu. The 2 enter the illusion at the same time. There is nothing special about illusory domain's background, except that there is nothing outside the window, and it is almost exactly the same as reality. His illusion is stronger again. Danza was filled with emotion, and he had to say that Akaban's talent is too terrifying. He paused for a moment, gathered his thoughts, and said, "I sent someone to investigate the situation in the Land of Uzumaki. Some of the information has been sent back. According to the data, it is not the Mist Ninja who abducted the kid from the Uzumaki clan, but an existence that can secretly manipulate others. To tell you the truth, I used an illusion to block the opponent for 1 second that day. And I saw part of the opponent's face, half of it was the face of a normal person, and the other half was black. It was completely different from the later appearance." Akaban said. "Black face." Danza took a breath and said in surprise, "That character named Black Zetsu. The other party doesn't necessarily look like this, but according to my guess, it should be the same. Also, he was in Konoha before, and Mito-sama and I felt his presence, and once mentioned it to you." "I see, that time at the preparatory department." Danza nodded lightly. "Lady Mito and I were aware of his existence, so I drew these to see if Black Zetsu would find him, or find other people. Mito-sama and I were aware of his existence, so I drew these to see if Black Zetsu would find me, or find other people. Akaban stated part of his purpose. With an enemy like Black Zetsu, he is not afraid that the other side will not move, but that the other side will lie motionless in secret. So this is a trick to lead the snake out of the hole. Danza nodded and motioned Akaban to continue. About the one in the land of water, I can only say that he should be able to control others with a certain ability, and the amount of chakra the other party has is huge, and when he used Earth Release, Earth Flow River, I think he is at least a Kij level. Akaban said solemnly. Danza was silent for a long time, and after hesitating for a few seconds, he said, I suspect he may be Uchiha Madara. What? Akaban's face was surprised. This was not a pretense, but he was really surprised that Danza would think of him. Today I checked the information left by my teacher Tobirama, and I found a detail that I had overlooked before. The teacher has been doing considerable research on Sharingan, and Madara is the strongest Sharingan user. How could he miss this opportunity? I checked the travel records of that year. Teacher left Konoha on the back foot and came back after Lord First Hokage summer. It is very likely that Madara was dealt with in the middle, but the strange thing is in Anbu, even the Hokage doesn't have any information about Madara's eyes legacy. Does it mean that teacher didn't get any clues from Madara? Danza said as he looked solemn. Senju Tobirama is his teacher. In a sense, what he said today is equivalent to denigrating his dead teacher, and it is also insulting to Konoha hero. However, there are only a handful of people who can control others, and those who have a huge amount of chakras and possess a Kij level strength, all of which meet the conditions. After investigating the existing Kij level powerhouses in various places, and then synthesizing various information, he suspects that this powerhouse is on the death list. This is unexplainable. Could it be said that the second Hokage Summer saved Madara? Or Madara escaped a fatal blow through some kind of substitute death technique, and at the same time concealed it to the first Hokage and second Hokage Summer eyes? Is this possible? I confirmed with Uchiha Yuan that the Uchiha family has a pupil technique called Izonagi that restores the injured force at the cost of losing eyes. Danza is fully prepared. However, even Uchiha Yuan, and the group of elders who were slaughtered before, would not cooperate in this way. What a good detective! Akaban took a deep breath. His emotions don't need to be disguised, because Danza can guess that this has shocked him very much. Then you mean? Remind who your enemy may be. That's it. Even if we know that the opponent is Madara, we can't do anything. It's a good thing to lead a snake out of the hole, but don't step into the snake trap yourself. After Danza finished speaking, he stood up for a while. Akaban could feel that his teacher wanted to disarm the illusion, but he obviously failed, so he could only pretend to stand up and look at the scenery. As a good disciple, he solved the illusion in a considerate manner. Danza was silent for a moment, then coughed lightly and said, "You have good illusion skills, but it's basically useless to Madara. You have to be fully prepared." "Thank you teacher for reminding me." Akaban saw him off respectfully. Danza obviously still has a lot of questions, but he didn't ask, he didn't say it. Such as devil fruit. However, this pot was backed by the Jashin cult, and only Konoha would make some whimsical conjectures, just like Orochimaru. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but mourn for the Jashin cult. Those people must be very distressed now. Because according to the information he got from the stronghold in the country of the river, Kakuzo has set up a pirate ship to set off from the country of the river to search for the treasures in the sea. The devil fruit is fake, but the treasure in the sea is real. For example, the Moon Kingdom in the southern part from the movie version is said to be a super rich country. If they can find it there. Akaban got up and sorted these manuscripts. He separated out a shadow clone to solve some problems with the catalogue, cover, and posters, and pondered the follow-up plan. Since Danza guessed it was Madara from various clues, he just had to wait for Danza to shake the matter out. Akaban didn't need to open his mouth and worry about it. As Danza said, what he has to worry about is how to deal with Madara and Black Zetsu. Now the transitional plot from the One Piece plot to the Sky Island is not far from the observation Haki appearance. Just a little more. One day later, the ninjas of Sand Village got the updated Naruto comic from the Land of Fire and brought them to Sand Village. After reading the whole chapter, finally, everyone looked at Kyo. In this volume, Akaban cursed her son severely, and even the unseen grandson was on the camera. That hateful Konoha kid, how dare he curse my son, I must poison him to death. Kyo was very angry. Sister, calm down your anger. Ibizo quickly comforted her. After that, everyone murmured again, verbally condemning, and these condemnations would not even reach Konoha's ears. Is this still the high level of Sand Village? It has become a comic talk. When did the management of the village become like this? However, this group of people is respected in their village, and their ability is the first-class existence of the village, and the other is his teacher, the Kazekage shaman. So Zack has nothing to say about it. Sigh, when will I truly control the village? Zack thought as he was very depressed. And all of this was seen by the secretive Black Zetsu hiding in the dark. Originally, if there were no flaws in Sand Village, he would choose other countries for his plan, but now it seems that he doesn't need it anymore. How similar is this boy to Indra back then? He has strength and brains, but he has a radical personality and cannot be satisfied with a steady and slow pace. Black Zetsu thought of how he can find a suitable opportunity and then he can take the entire Sand Village into the ditch. But before this, it seemed that the troublesome bald half-human puppet had to be solved first, and that guy was very important in the heart of the young Kazekage. He thought for a long time and quickly escaped from here. He had a solution. The next thing to do is to find Konoha's hidden Anbu here, and finally control that old man to die. Black Zetsu really couldn't control Shaman in his peak period, but after being severely injured by Danza, although he barely survived through puppet transformation, his strength has dropped a lot. Now his existence is more of a researcher and consultant than a normal ninja. As long as Shaman died, he didn't believe that Zack and the Sand Village in this state could bear this. Well, it's better for him to die in the hands of a Konoha ninja so that the result will be better. With that planned in his mind, Black Zetsu began to search for the Konoha Anbu that may exist in the Sand Hidden Village and the Wind Country. As long as he finds a Konoha ninja, his plan can be executed perfectly. As soon as the war in Sand Village begins, Hidden Rain Village and Hidden Stone Village, which were sneak attacked by Hidden Sand Village before, would definitely take advantage of it to take their revenge. But after looking around, he ran into a difficult problem. In the entire Sand Village, he did not find Konoha's Anbu. Is Konoha not afraid of Sand Village taking small actions? Black Zetsu was a little dazed. His plan should have been perfect, but the result was that it was not what he expected. He didn't know that because of him and Madara, Danza transferred all 70% of the Anbu to the land of Uzumaki and the land of water, and only part of it was left to collect information about the land of rivers and Hidden Stone Village. Maybe after a while, Danzo will rearrange the chess pieces in Sand Village, but it is by no means in the near future. Black Zetsu didn't believe that there is really no Konoha Anbu here and searched again. But after searching again, he only found some spies from Hidden Stone Village and Hidden Rain Village, but there is no benefit in directing the artillery to them. So his plan can only be temporarily shelved. After all, Madara is still suspicious of him, and if he doesn't go back for a long time, he will be more suspicious of his identity, and it will be troublesome if all his previous work is gone. Compared to Akaban, he still cares more about Madara. That's it for this part, guys. Hope you like the video. Like, share and subscribe the channel. And also tell me in the comment section down below if you have any recommendation. Thanks for watching.